What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jacob Scott. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I wanted to talk about some of my favorite filmmaking accessories there is out there, especially with the holidays rolling right around the corner. So without any further ado, let's jump right into this video. Alright, so starting off with number one is the Joby Gorilla Pod. Now the reason I chose this here, it is super versatile. Not only you can use it, of course, like a normal tripod, but I'm sure you've already seen a bunch of vloggers out there using it as sort of like a little monopod or a handheld stabilizer to throw your camera on and vlog with. Not to mention, just having this on your camera helps to make things a little bit more stable, gives you another point of contact, so you can also use it somewhat as a stabilizer for your camera. Now, I've also thrown microphones on here, I've thrown lights on here. It is a super versatile piece of kit, and it's one that I highly suggest you have in your camera bag. So the one that I'll actually have linked down below is actually the newer version of this, and all the links down below are going to be affiliate links. If you use them, I really do appreciate it. But that is number one. Alright, so number two is something that I very often think gets overlooked, because also I overlooked it for the longest time, and that is ND filters. Now this here is a variable ND. As you can see, when I turn it here, it gets brighter and then it gets darker. Now what this essentially is sunglasses for your camera lens. Now what it's gonna do for you is when you're filming outside, you can keep a proper shutter speed. So if you're filming at 24 frames per second, you can keep your shutter speed low at 1/50th of a second, because it's essentially darkening the image and making it less light come into your camera. Not to mention, when you're also filming outside, you can keep your aperture lower to get a shallower depth of field. So what it's going to do is going to give you a shallower depth of field because you can keep your aperture lower, and also going to give you more motion blur to keep that cinematic look when you're filming outside. So if you want to really get a cinematic look filming outside, I highly suggest ND filters. I'll leave a couple links down below to a couple of them, varying from cheaper to more expensive. But if you want to really step up your video game, highly suggest an ND filter. Now moving into number three is one of these things right here. This here is the Gitsos Rocket Air. Now all this is a pretty much an air blower, but the reason I chose this is because in 2018, seeing that there's a ton of new mirrorless cameras coming out, there's one less thing in front of the sensor to help keep dust off your sensor. So essentially what you can do with this is just pop off your camera lens and easily blow all the dust off your camera sensor to get the cleanest images. Not to mention, if you got dust or dirt or anything on your camera lens, you can easily just blow it off. So that right there is number three. Alright, now number four is something that I feel gets overlooked a lot, and that is audio. Now I highly suggest an audio recorder for a couple of different reasons. Say you're shooting weddings, anything like that, where you want to capture pretty good vocal audio where you can't necessarily get close to the subject, you can easily throw a lav mic in to one of these audio recorders, have them put it in their pocket, and have them laved up to get good audio that way. Not to mention, a lot of these come with stereo microphones on top that actually are pretty decent. So say I want to do some sound design, I really just want to go out, record some sounds to put into my videos. I can get a windscreen, put it over this, and just go out and record sounds with this. Now, two, the preamps in these tend to be pretty decent, so if you don't have good preamps in your camera, you can easily just use this to record the sound and sync it up in post. And this, like I said, has a line in, so I can record use shotgun mics with this. I can use lav mics like I already mentioned, and it has a line out. So if you want to monitor your audio, you can monitor your audio with this recorder. So I'll have a couple of these linked down in the description, but I highly suggest you pick up an audio recorder. Alright, now the last thing is actually one of these right here behind me. This is just an LED light, small LED panel, and the reason I suggest these is because they're getting so affordable, and there's so many uses for them. You can use them as key lights, you can use them as kicker lights. Right now, I'm just using this, as you can see, as a background light, not to mention this one here. It's got gels on it, so if I want to change the color of the light, I can do that. But really the biggest thing is a lot of these have Sony NPF battery mounts on them. So if you can't get to power, if you need to film with light, maybe, I don't know, out in the woods or away from a power source, you can easily do that with these lights. And like I said, they are super, super affordable and getting a lot better for the price that you're paying nowadays. So I have some links to a couple different ones of these down below. But that is pretty much it for this video. If you did enjoy it, I really appreciate it if you hit the like button and the subscribe button, as long as the notification bell down below. Or if you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. See if I care, okay? But like I said, that's pretty much it for this one. I will see you later.